Okay, we can't live our lives entirely oblivious to the idea that, sometimes the things that happen, they do happen for a reason. And I'm saying this particularly because gender-based violence, right? Incidences of couples ending up in fighting, and as it is as a result of nature, you find that mostly men are on the doing end and women are on the receiving end, and hence the global outroar that comes with gender-based violence. Why? They paint it as a misogynistic, uh, motivated agenda. But I'd like us to look into this whole idea. Now, I don't like the way the mainstream narrative paints it, because if you look at the news, the feminist sites, all the publications, every fucking information out there about this matter, they always paint it as though men, and I say men here very intentionally because they try to make it look like it's all men, they paint it out as though men are out here actively trying to get to attack women. You know, it's like husbands are seated in a corner somewhere and they're just deliberating. Oh, this new knockout method I learned. Can't wait to use it on my wife, man. Yeah, there's this new tool of torture that I figured out, man. I can't wait to use it on my wife. Well, that's not the case. 9 out of 10 times, I'll tell you for a fact, most men, they just want peace of mind. Most men are not even violent. Most men are not even, and don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing what they do, yeah? But here's the idea. Men come wired with the responsibility of understanding that they are dangerous. That they are dangerous to a point where anything can end up into a physical altercation, and there's gonna be very severe consequences to that matter. Which is why you don't see men going around just provoking each other willy-nilly. But guess who doesn't have that concept in their mind? Women. Women do not have that. Instead, what women have is the natural understanding that they are a protected class, protected by law, protected by society, protected even by the very men they so much disdain in these particular instances. So what do? They provoke because they know 9 out of 10 times, even though they're the ones in the wrong, the consequence of the action that will follow afterwards is going to fall upon the man. And they live in this Delulu land where they think, okay, men don't have a breaking point. They can take whatever disrespect, they can take whatever amount of insult, whatever amount of instigation without doing anything. They are messiahs, they are Christ. They can't do anything. So you'll find a woman actively insulting, provoking a man. The man is even, in most cases, they're even doing the right thing. They're just straight up walking away. Yeah? And the woman will shout something obscene like, oh, now you're a coward? You're walking away? Yeah? Yeah? Is that what you are? They even instigate them. If you're a man, you'll come back and address me. What, that type of stuff. And it gets to a point where it's just now cruel because the woman is doing this from a point of malice, and they're instigating the man to respond. They know if the man responds, they're done, but they're still asking for it anyway. And this is the cognitive dissonance that I want us to address, because 9 out of 10 times when we're addressing the matters to do with these cases, we forget the fact that that is not the de facto mentality of men. Men don't just sit somewhere deciding, hey, I want to beat up a woman. Nah. Mm-mm. In fact, to get most men to fight, or to get most men to be that much aggravated to want to fight, you have to really push the needle, push it and push it really deep to a point where it just strikes a nerve and hurts well enough for this man to say, that's it. Fine. I'm gonna give you what you need. Yeah? And again, don't get me wrong, I am not excusing it. But we are adults, and let's be fair enough to get to a point where we can have personal responsibility in these matters. And I'm specifically addressing these women who defend women in all cases, even in instances where they instigated violence upon themselves. Listen, when you go digging up shit, 9 out of 10 times you're going to find shit. So that's the thing I'd like you to think, the mentality I'd like you to adopt. yeah, when addressing this type of shit. When you are provoking a man to fight, to cause you harm, if he decides that your wish is my command, you have absolutely no effing right to sit down and whine about it. That's just my take. That's just my take. However, I have to be fair. That's in instances where the women are the ones provoking. Now there are these other situations where we have this bunch of weak men who always feel they have something to prove. And these are the men who will now attack women unprovoked, or they are walking on such high levels of insecurity that a woman does one small thing and it's straight up violence. Yeah? I have to be fair. I have to address both parties. Yeah? So now this goes to such men who are so weak that they have not mastered the art of emotional control and handling situations like a man in a manner where you understand the consequences, and you don't have anything to prove. Yeah, if you're such a man who must always resort to violence to prove that you're a man, well, you need to get out of a relationship. If it's a marriage, if it's a relationship, bro, go get therapy. All right. And under no circumstance should you be allowed to address serious matters in that relationship, because you have zero capacity to handle it. Because as far as humanity is concerned, you are a ticking time bomb, and you do need fixing. You are a danger to society, you're a danger to those around you. So what happens is you need to address the root cause of the matter that is affecting you. You need to address your mental health issues, and you need to do that by yourself. So ideally, you should not be in any type of relationship with a woman, because as it is in the nature of relationships, there's going to be disagreements. And since you're not wired well enough to handle these disagreements, go work on yourself first. Get the hell out of that relationship, or else you're just gonna end up being a bomb, a ticking time bomb, ready to explode every fucking time you're provoked. And that is not ideal for society.